Welcome back to the News at 10. After the President submitted the budget last December to the National Assembly, the lawmakers began to review the figures, and up until now, that budget is yet to be passed 3 months after. What are the main reasons for the delay in the passage of the budget, and how can the federal government ensure implementation now that the first quarter of the year is almost over? To take a look at this issue in the delayed passage of the budget, I'm now being joined on the News at 10 by an economist, Dr. Boniface Chizia. You're welcome to the News at 10.
Thank you very much, Amarachi, for having me.
Well, great to have you here.
Thank you.
Did you expect that by now, 3 months after, Nigerians will still be awaiting the budget, the passage of Budget 2016?
I think that's, I wouldn't expect that there's anyone in this country that should have thought when the thing was presented, I think it was 22nd of December, that we'll still be talking about approving the budget. I think that when that was presented to the National Assembly, and the National Assembly, in fact, decided to postpone, their recess, all of us thought that this change was working through the budget. But surprisingly, so many things started happening, so issues of budget missing at some point in time, and errors in the budget, budget padding, and sacking, and so on. And so many things started happening. And surprisingly, the budget is still being work in progress at this point in time. So it's surprising to, I would expect to all compatriots, that's the situation as it is today.
Well, the National Economic Council will be meeting tomorrow for that all-important retreat. What issues do you think that they would have on their tables?
Well, I would expect that one of the things that is one of concern to most watchers of this economy is the issue of the rate of exchange. I think that has been a problem, and there's been lots of opinion being canvassed. So the fiscal authorities, the monetary authorities have taken a stand, taking a position that, in my opinion, advisedly, that we shouldn't go the devaluation route. Of course, there have been issues about maintaining flexibility. There have been issues about attracting foreign investors from overseas, and so on and so forth. I would expect that would be discussed. But I would also think that it's about time, we should begin to think of Nigeria, this country, beyond oil. I think that's very important. I think that subnational governments, this would be a very good opportunity, for us to begin to draw it into the heads of all concerned. That we have to begin to manage this economy. We've operated what you call a feed and bottle federation, whereby the states will have to run cap in hands, to go to a federal allocation committee every month, to receive their shares and then go back and manage their economy. And so we had this crisis, and then we had a bailout, and then beyond that, I did engage the public space to say that beyond the bailout, because that was one off. And so if you're not able to pay salaries, and say, okay, let's try and help you to pay salaries. And I would say that when I did wrote my article, I did say that beyond that, what's going to happen? I think we better begin to manage. We're not managing. The states are not managing. The local governments are not even in existence. And so the federal government is the only place.
Is it really a question of management, or is it really a question of production? The states are not really producing anything. They're not generating any revenue.
I'm right. I think the thing is that it's both. What resource you have and you don't manage very well is an issue. Now, because you've been, it's been made easy for you, so you became lazy. I won't expect that the states should begin to look inwards and begin to think of. It's a whole bulk of issues. They're talking of how do you, federation allocation and so on, derivation principles and so on. The states will have to begin to go back to where we were before, where the states would produce and then return the resources and pay tax to the center. And so we begin to remove this lazy mentality, at the states. And if there are some clauses in our constitution and so on that will stop the states from, going to certain areas, I think we begin to revisit and ensure that the states are allowed, that leeway to begin to do that. But the states have to be up and doing that. It's very important.
I'd like us to go back to talking about the budget now, because it's actually going to arrive late. Can we still expect full implementation of Budget 2016?
Well, I think it's going to be very difficult, particularly with the capital budget. This economy that's having is a challenge. We're having issues, and this budget came, and we canvassed that we should go the reflationary direction. And that's what exactly this administration tried to do. So we had a budget with a deficit of about 2 trillion naira, which was about 1.2 something % of GDP. So we had that. I said, look, yes, let's spend our ways out of this. But then if this budget is still in the works and we don't know when it will see the light of day. Let me say, Amarachi, I think that's one of the things people have said in social media is that most of these things is political. I think we will come to terms with this and begin to address it.
The late passage of the budget is political.
That's political. Yes. People are saying it's political, and I think that, and all of us, to some extent in this country, we should come clean and tell ourselves the truth. I think that's political, and I think that something has to be done because the interest of this country has been, and the future of this country has been mortgaged.
Words according to you, Dr. Boniface Chizia. Thank you so much for joining us on the News at 10.
Thank you, Amarachi, for having me.
As part of activities marking his 2 years in office, the Anambra State Governor, Willie Obiano, has unveiled a book which captures his administration's policies and programs within the period. A 588-page book captures the developmental strides of the governor in critical sectors of the state. Governor Obiano appealed for more support to enable him do more for the state.
The day begins for Governor Willie Obiano with the inspection of a guard of honor mounted for him at the Governor's Lodge in Abia. From there, he proceeds to the Professor Dora Akuyili Women Development Center, where hundreds of citizens of the state had been awaiting his arrival. The occasion is the unveiling of a book written by the governor's childhood friend, Mr. Onora Nzeku, who has been following Governor Obiano's activities and comes to the conclusion that the governor has succeeded in turning deficits into assets in Anambra State.
What appealed to me in writing the foreword to the book is that the book is a statement of facts. And the facts are that Governor Willie Obiano has in the last 2 years made very significant imprints on Anambra State.
The most important aspect of assets is security. If you don't have security, you can't even sleep. Taking of assets. And that is where some of the past leaders in Anambra State have got it wrong. It's only when you guarantee life and property and you can as well champion investment revolution, which is already happening in Anambra State.
For the chairman of the occasion, who is also a renowned writer, Professor Chukwemeka Ike, and the book reviewer, Mrs. Ogugwa Ekweze, the exploits of the governor in 2 years can be felt and seen by everybody.
It will not take long for Abia to earn the Anambra State the widespread reputation as the safest state in Nigeria.
According to the governor, excellence has been his watchword, but he wants more support from the people.
I want to dedicate the successes in this book that I'm mentioning to all of you here by Anambra. Because quite honestly, without your support, it will not be possible. But everything that is being said about me here and the ones said outside here will help me to do more for all of us.
The high point of the event was the unveiling of the book, with Governor Obiano asking all present to get copies and spread the good news that Anambra State is on the rise to greatness.
Our community report tonight examines the socio-economic challenges being faced by people residents in Amuku community in Ohafia local government area of Abia State. They're calling on state authorities to come to their rescue and provide some basic social amenities.
Now you're talking.
This
is the only major entrance into Amoku, a community in Ohafia, Abia State. The vibrant community with agriculture as their major occupation is faced with various infrastructural challenges. The roads are bad and too narrow for vehicles to ply. The major means of transportation are commercial motorcycles. Some residents have no option but to walk long distances to get to their destination. This has been a source of concern for many, especially the elderly.
The whole of this place gets flooded up to the other end. And if you were to pull the sand from here, you see that there have been layers and layers of blocks that were laid there just to see if this place can be elevated. But every season, the flood brings on more mud and covers the place. So now it might look like a very easy place to pass. But as soon as the rains come, the community is separated from the rest of the society.
There's no electricity. The primary school is virtually closed. We don't have even water. We don't have water. It's like an isolated place.
We don't even have hospital here. Many people has delivered their baby on the road, taking them to Ngudumanwoke, where there is a center there. Some of them deliver there before you take them back.
Residents also trek for hours to get to the stream, which is the only source of water. According to them, sometimes the stream is polluted with oil after spills are recorded in neighboring communities. The only school in this community is dilapidated and unconducive for learning.
Whenever rain falls, we run home. Nobody will be in the school again. Then another one is the problem of the road. Because of the long road, most of the teachers who don't have bike, they trek. So before they will reach, it will be by second period or third evening. So by that time they haven't come, I will control the two classes. After teaching this one, come over to this one.
However, some intervention may be on its way as the state government has promised to help rebuild this school.
Between now and end of the year, we believe that most of the primary and secondary schools that are in bad shape would have received the first lift.
If they have roads in their areas, that will automatically, engender enhance economic activities. And when people are trading, when people are buying and selling, something happens in the lives of people. They're selling more. And then if there are good roads for people to come from and evacuate, then that means that people are going to live better and live well. That's the best government can do to catalyze that sort of development in the community. So in this season, when there is no money, when oil prices still going down and receipts are very low, that communities or people, permanent citizens in the community who want amenities, in the area can partner with government, and then so we can share the cost, share the burden and all that.
Residents of Amaoku, an agrarian community, are waiting to see if these words are matched with action and socio-economic infrastructure are put in place to improve the living conditions and end their sufferings.
Now you're talking. To more cheerful news, it is Palm Sunday, which marks the triumphant entry of Jesus Christ into Jerusalem. And worshippers today throng to churches to celebrate Christ and remind mankind of the need to love and tolerate one another.
Members of the congregation in a Palm Sunday service. As the symbolic palm front, which is synonymous with the triumphant entry of Jesus Christ, is also being displayed by members of the congregation. The Reverend Father Lucas Ayodele offers prayers for God's guidance and protection.
By his resurrection, you may lead us to where you call. grant this through our Lord Jesus Christ, your Son, who lives and reigns with you in the unity of the Holy Spirit, one God, forever and ever.
It's now time for Thanksgiving as members get into dancing mood in joyful observance of the triumphant entry of Jesus Christ into Jerusalem.
We must seek to do the will of God in our country, Nigeria, at this point and at this time. There is no other way. There are no shortcuts, but that we must seek the will of God, know the will of God, and then do the will of God.
At the All Saints Anglican Church in Ikosi, Lagos, the Palm Sunday service began with a procession as Venerable Ayodele conducts the service. Members of the congregation grateful to God for another opportunity to witness another Palm Sunday. What lessons can be learned about the essence and importance of Palm Sunday? The church vicar, Venerable Timothy Ayodele, advises Nigerians to obey God's commandments.
We need to be open to God Almighty. We need to allow God to reign in this land. This is a land that is flowing with milk and honey, and which by one way or the other we have neglected God. We should draw closer to God.
In Benin City, the Edo State capital, Archbishop of the diocese there, Most Reverend Augustine Akubweze, admonishes Christians to make humanity their watchword. As the Christian faithful observes Palm Sunday festivities, Nigerians are reminded of the virtues of selflessness and humility in strengthening national unity.
And now to the arts. An artist would always look for a way to reinvent himself and create works that leave fans wanting more. And that's why artist Adewale Alimi constantly strives towards. Art Review tonight takes a look at the man who trained himself to become an artist.
From gadgets to gallery, Adewale Alimi is a self-trained artist who has come a long way from being a computer whiz to becoming his own man. Now he departs from his signature style with divergence.
This exhibition is telling stories, it's not just hanging beautiful things on the wall.
He has also put women in the spotlight, appreciating her achievement through works of art, such as In Her Grace and The Three Virtues.
Like the piece, there is what I call In Her Grace. Over the years, for the past 10 decades, the African women, they've been doing great stuff. You see women being directors, and this part of the exhibition is just to honor these women.
His painting style is unique as he wraps and reconstructs his images with thin layers of paint, often section by section, in an array of colors.
Any work of art should be subtle, not really work you up. So I try to make my painting, and my sculptures really complement anywhere they are put.
He has been working on this technique for a while. He is far from perfect, but at least he has tried to take this traditional medium to a higher level.
Unilever Nigeria PLC, in collaboration with the Nigerian Dental Association of Nigeria, has celebrated World Oral Health Day. The event, which held in Lagos, emphasized teaching children how to brush their teeth properly. World Oral Health Day is celebrated on March 20th every year. The theme for this year is Brush Day and Night, Healthy Teeth, Healthy Body. Our correspondent, Mary Alale Yusuf, reports.
Hundreds of excited children fill the hall.
Pepsodent takes its plan to catch them young to a whole new level.
But if all of you go home to your parents and tell your brothers and sisters to brush twice a day, once in the morning, once at night, you will help make Nigeria a healthier nation.
The president of the Nigerian Dental Association gives other tips for oral health.
Visit your dentist twice in a year.
There's nothing like a practical session to bring it home to them.
For the upper, I'm brushing downwards. I'm rolling my wrist, the back, to the front, to the right.
You start from the up, or you can start from the down.
The Lagos State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Jide Idris, commends Unilever and urges the children to imbibe the twice daily brushing habit.
The mouth is considered an integral part of your body and therefore must be properly taken care of to avoid systemic problems.
The reason why we're speaking to children is because we know children, when they form that habit at that age, it stays with them and it goes on to influence their lifestyle.
So far we've reached 1.8 million Nigerian school children with our behavioral change program to improve brushing day and night. And this year we plan to add another 1 million Nigerian school children on top of that. And the plan is by 2020 to have reached 10 million Nigerian school children.
Activities officially come to an end with the children taking the Pepsodent brushing pledge and the smile song, promising to also encourage their parents in the same line.
Brush, brush, prevent cavities. Brush, brush, brush for the whole family. Brush!
Still ahead on the news at 10, Manchester United ends Manchester City's title hopes in the English Premier League in a keenly contested Manchester derby. We'll have details of sports news. Please join us again.